you know of this one productivity system that fits all your needs, no matter in what kind of life stage you are in, and you will forever and always 24/7 be your most productive self? You know what we are talking about today, right? Toxic productivity and the myth of the perfect productivity system, and my stance on what kind of mindset we should actually implement and how we should see these productivity systems so we can make the best out of them for ourselves. Toxic productivity is pretty much the obsession and the kind of expectation that you have everything together at all times, 24/7, that you have the absolute perfect system where you know exactly where what has to go and where what is at all times. We all know that this is impossible, unfortunately. Of course, it would be nice, but it's okay to have it as an aspirational goal. I would say it doesn't exist. It's more of a dream. But at the same time, I believe toxic productivity is a perspective. Sure, you shouldn't pressure yourself into this idea that you should have everything together at all times. Of course not. But when I see that people are commenting on YouTubers' videos, for example, where they share their own productivity system, or that they just switch to a new app that works perfect for their current system. I've read a lot of comments below those videos where people were like, all right, you're always pretending to have everything together and now you're switching to a new app again. Like a perfect example for toxic productivity. No. I kind of see where this is going, where people kind of throw this world around because they kind of feel attacked or they expect that someone should have everything together. I believe when someone is sharing their productivity system, it's more meant to be an inspiration. And I'm grateful that people share these systems, because myself, I'm constantly changing my systems in a way. I'm adapting, of course not every day, but there are always times throughout the year where I feel like, maybe I should reevaluate how I'm kind of managing this kind of information. And I rather see other people share their system and how these apps work for them and how they kind of use them and implement them than trying this out by myself and going back and forth for hours until I found out that this is not working for me. So maybe we should give a little bit more space for the people so they can actually share the current system without feeling like they are already pressuring their system on us. When someone is sharing something that works for them at this point, it doesn't mean that you have to implement it now, because if you don't, then you are a loser forever. This is a perception. Of course, there are people out there who are saying that quite explicitly, but, well, you know, sometimes you just have to choose not to listen to that and just see what else they have to say and if that can be helpful for you or not. The productivity systems that are often introduced by the so-called productivity gurus are their systems that are working for them at this point, at their life right now. It's good that they share them with us. I totally get that you can feel offended by, you know, when you don't wake up at 4 a.m., you can already forget the rest of your day because you won't be able to get anything else done. I totally get that this can seem quite aggressive. But when you think about their perspective, they've worked something out for themselves that works so great for them right now. And these are their personal experiences and their recipes pretty much for their current success, however they define it. And from their perspective, these were essential parts of their productivity system. Of course, they speak with a certain confidence and a my system fits all approach. But, you know, just try to see it a little bit from, okay, they found something for themselves that works for them, and I can pick some things out of that I can try for myself. At the same time, people who are introducing their productivity system as the one way you should approach it are very helpful for those who have no idea how to organize themselves. Because from my experience, when I was still doing one-on-one Mac coachings, I've met a ton of people that were so overwhelmed and confused because they didn't know at all how to organize anything on their computer. They were feeling like this Mac is like this black hole when they download like a document from their email. It's just gone. It's somewhere in the computer, forever and always lost, because they just didn't know where to put these things. Of course, maybe you are like me and you are like, of course, you create a folder and then you put all the things you need, I don't know, from your health insurance in there, or things about your pet. Yeah, we have a natural sense maybe of organization, but at some point there are people out there who feel completely lost and overwhelmed and don't know where and how to start. And for those people, those systems are a very good introduction to learn how to organize themselves, because they start with a system then. And then they get kind of introduced to the process with like, I'm going to put these kind of documents in there. And if I look for something, it's in there. So this is a process that is for everyone differently. For some people, it's more natural. And for other people, it's like a complete new terrain that they have to kind of get used to in a way. So if this person is kind of getting started with a productivity system from some sort of productivity guru, then they have finally a point where they have something to work with. And maybe this works for them for a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe a few years. But throughout this process of implementing the system, they will automatically add their own tweaks pretty much, how to do this maybe a bit differently because it works more for them and stuff like that. They kind of get into the process of optimizing their own productivity system. And therefore, we kind of have to respect and see these productivity systems a little bit more from that perspective. If you're one of those people who is super into productivity, is super organized with everything, and is constantly maybe even adapting their systems and stuff like that, you kind of have to see these systems more as a way of, maybe I can pick that and maybe tweak it a little bit, and that could work with my process because I was looking for a solution for that problem. So just pick a piece of what you like and leave out the rest. There is no one telling you that you should do it just this way. What I find more important in regard of toxic productivity is that we have to be careful not to chase constantly, for example, a new app and a new system, or to change constantly our system. There's a balance, there is a point definitely in life where we have to change something because we feel extremely overwhelmed by our current system, or maybe it just doesn't work for us anymore because our life has changed so much and we just need a different app, or we need more functions, or we want everything together in one place, or we want to even maybe divide it more into different places. There are different approaches to this, but at the same time we have to be careful not to get lost into a constant need for optimization. It's easy to fall into a trap where you feel like you need this new app because it will make your life so much easier, or that you need to build a second brain in this app because then you will have everything together. I mean, I've also read that the apps and the need to build a second brain are so distracting that you're actually not using the second brain at all. So we kind of have to be careful that we are not constantly actually sitting there and just putting information into an app because we think we can work with it so perfectly fine, and in the end not working with it at all. Sometimes we just have to look at our current system from a different perspective and look what is not working at the moment. Maybe we've just neglected ticking the to-dos as done, or we haven't kind of checked in with our overdue tasks anymore, or we have everything in the inbox but haven't sorted it out into the different folders. Whatever it is, sometimes it's just that life kind of was overwhelming already and we weren't really working with the productivity system that we have at the moment. So sometimes this new shiny app that you see somewhere on the internet can look so delicious because finally it's like super shiny and new, and the user interface has a different color, and maybe it looks all so much more perfect, and maybe it's even a new app. There are so many things about these products. It's almost like shopping for shoes. You don't need them always, but they look great. And then you kind of walk around with these shoes and then you realize they are kind of hurting your feet a lot and you cannot walk properly with them. This is kind of how it sometimes works with the apps. And therefore we have to approach it from a total different perspective. And there's like this fine balance that you have to find for yourself to not go totally insane and overwhelmed in the jungle of possibilities for productivity. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below how you perceive the current productivity movements and if this video was helpful and what else you are doing so you are not falling into the trap of toxic productivity. So keep shining and see you next time.